So today we woke up to the headline that an MP in the Lesotho parliament from a minority party has gone to the United Nations with a petition asking for South Africa to return stolen land back to Lesotho. According to this claim, they're saying that over 210,000 square kilometers of land, 3 times the landmass of the current Lesotho, was stolen by the Boers, the English, and incorporated into South Africa. And today, Basotho are struggling to live their lives, struggling to farm because their farmland was taken and made into what is called the Free State today, and KwaZulu-Natal, and also parts of the Eastern Cape. And they're saying because of this, our country is unsustainable because not only did it lose land, but it also lost over 60% of the Basotho people who are currently living in South Africa. And so people like Ripolo are saying that they want the land to be returned. Now, the headlines also say that he's being funded by the Israelis, or shall we say, the Mossad. And many are trying to speculate, why would the Mossad finance a Sotho national to actually go after South Africa? Well, there are a number of reasons that have been given. Number one, it's retribution for South Africa going to the ICJ on the issue of Palestine and Israel, and others are saying it's part and parcel of the white agenda to stop expropriation without compensation. But the truth of the matter is that this issue goes way back. The Lesotho parliament has been discussing this issue for a very long time. In fact, Thabo Mbeki, together with Minister Mosisi, actually did discuss this in 2007, where he said he would give the right to Basotho citizens to have free movement without needing borders and passports. But till today, nothing has been done. But there could also be valuable reasons why the Basotho have gotten to this point. They're sick and tired of being called illegal immigrants in a South Africa that is holding over 210,000 square kilometers of their land. Because basically, they're being called illegal citizens in their own land. No different to the situation of the apartheid government calling black South Africans in the Bantustans illegal immigrants into South Africa. So the former Prime Minister of Lesotho has said that these discussions have been had with Cyril Ramaphosa, and there were discussions about incorporating Lesotho into South Africa. Apparently, the current Prime Minister and Cyril Ramaphosa have signed binational agreements to try and ensure that there is this dialogue that begins to happen to see if this incorporation can happen. However, when you have people who talk like that,
out of that particular number, from the undocumented, as it were, the leading nationality is the Basotho nationals. And there we are talking about 38,000 of them. So meaning that from the 50,000 we are talking about.
Where they categorize the Basotho people as the biggest illegal immigrants in South Africa alongside people from Mozambique, you can understand why this issue could end up exploding. Because the Basotho people are being said to come into South Africa, they struggle to get jobs, they struggle to survive at home because their most productive land was taken by South Africa. Their businesses cannot flourish in smaller populations that they have with smaller land, and that land was taken by South Africa and their citizens are living in South Africa. It's the same situation in Eastern DRC all over again. Now, the Basotho people generally have not cared about this, or at least the educated people who live in cities, who oftentimes happen to be the parliamentarians, have not had an issue and have not wanted to demand their land from South Africa. This is why whenever this issue has been taken to parliament, it has never been voted for. More critically, the people who live in cities and who are more educated have always said that it's better for Lesotho to incorporate with South Africa, or not to even mention the issue. And a study was done, it proved that 78% of people who lived in villages found it very important and critical for their land to be returned. They also say that they do not want to be incorporated in South Africa. Now, many people might think that Lesotho is a small little country, it doesn't really matter what they think. The truth of the matter is, if the rumors of Israel are true, if the Mossad is involved in this issue, it could potentially become a very explosive situation. The Israelis, the Mossad, work with the Americans, very disciplined, and if they put money into politicizing and conscientizing the Lesotho people and the Basotho people of this crisis, if they ensure that the people in the villages begin to have a say, and if they begin to influence groups of Basothos that are in South Africa, who include Amarashia, very militant, young Basotho people, very capable of fighting, very brave, have always fought for the Basotho people in the minds of South Africa, and they are a force to be reckoned with. This could become a problem for South Africa. And especially if the reason why Israel is getting involved is because of retribution for the Palestinian situation or the ICJ situation, or if it has anything to do with interference of South Africa in the Congo situation, this situation could escalate very quickly. And the problem for South Africa is within South Africa itself are many Israelis, many Jews that are loyal to Israel, and many Mossad agents who can make this situation volatile very quickly. The fact that South Africans have decided to become like Trump, look inward, and worry about putting South Africa first means that they are opening themselves up to be destabilized by other people who will seek to put their own countries first before South Africa. This issue of this Basotho issue could also be a hindrance to expropriation of land without compensation, because the logic is simple. If you South Africans are going to expropriate land from white people who stole it, then surely the Basotho should be able to come and claim their own land that was expropriated by the very same white people and is continued to be held by a revolutionary movement and government of today. There's a lot to consider, a lot to talk about. But I want to say that if South Africa continues with the put South Africa first mantra at the expense of unity with other African countries, to the extent that they make every African country their enemy, they are going to find themselves in a lot of trouble in future. Hence we are saying, Africans must unite, colonial borders must fall, otherwise